stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Wow, this was this was a popular topic already. I don't think I've ever started with 3 people. Hi, it says Facebook user, so I don't know who you are. Oh yeah, I do. That's Ingrid. That's Ingrid. Huh. Upside down kitty. Upside down kitty loves tummy rubs. He loves tummy rubs. Yes, he does. All right. So I was at my noon meeting and somebody had brought up the concepts, but I was like, I haven't covered I don't know that I've ever covered the concepts here, and it's been a while since I've looked into them myself. So I figured this would be a good learning review. Thank you, Amy. And sometimes, Amy, I feel like I might post to your group too much because I go live twice a day. Today I did it though because it was a pertinent topic. I try and stay away. Like sometimes I come on and I bitch about other places, and that's when I don't share to your group. So because yeah, because it's not my group. So I have to, and that's what life's about is, you know what, when you find the right groups, it isn't even like you have to follow any rules, because if you're doing the right thing, it doesn't matter. Thank you, Amy. I needed to hear that. Okay. They run a great group. If you're not a part of Together We Can, I think they're linked to my group. If not, I'm going to go do that so more people can find you. I don't even know where you guys are based out of because it doesn't matter. Because I got friends everywhere. I do. I got friends all over the country because of Zoom and this. But let's get to the concepts. What are they about? I had to go look it up. So, first of all, they were written by Bill W. Okay. But why? We need to know why, because we're alcoholics. Hey, I don't know how you guys can still hear me when it's over. I have it set up so it's only this. So I must be one loud mofo. Okay, so what is the purpose of the 12 concepts of AA? It says here, written by AA co-founder Bill W., the 12 concepts for world service help to ensure that the various service entities remain responsible to the fellowship that they serve. Or in other words, accountability. It's our own accountability. In this version, brief, easy to read text and clever illustration render. No, they don't. No. All right. I'm just reading it out of the book. One day I will become a little bit more advanced where I'll be able to put it on the screen and all that other stuff. That's kind of stuff's coming up in January. See, in order to get that stuff done, you need money. So I am reading, for those that like to follow along, it's actually in your big book. Okay. You see how it probably wasn't very, I don't know what happened there. Sorry, big book. Probably because it's the last page and the whole thing's falling apart. So, but they're right here. They're on page 574 and 575. It's actually the last page in the 4th edition. I think that's how it is in the 3rd too. The 5th edition is coming out. Thank you. 574. So I'm going to start at the top, and this is the 12 concepts short form. I am going to cover all 12 of them, and I'm just going to, I'll probably give a little excerpt on each one, probably not too long, because there's 12 of them, and there's a lot of stuff here. Okay. AA's 12 steps are principles for personal recovery. So the steps are for our own personal recovery. The 12 traditions ensure the unity of the fellowship. Ensures. Okay. So we have to follow them. I know you follow the steps. That's fantastic. But we are to practice all these principles. That includes the traditions. Okay. This is the concept that I use for my group. This is the concept that I use for trudging together because this creates recovery equity for everybody. It means trudging together. Yes, I'm the owner, but nobody runs trudging together. Nobody does. I guess I kind of do. There's no money there. So I guess, yeah, I'm the one running trudging together, but it's for everybody. I've had the group now for, I don't know, 3, 4 years. And I think in that time I've had 3, maybe 4 complaints. And that's because I run it off of this. I keep it equal in there. There's sometimes people approach me, they say, Dion, I would be happier to join if it was private. I'm like, you know what? In the beginning, I started as public. Why the fuck am I talking about this? It must go with the concepts because God's doing this, right? But it needed to be open for everybody. In other words, you couldn't feel like you come to trudging together and it's not for you. Okay. I don't like saying no when it comes to recovery. I don't. Okay. All right. Written by co-founder Bill W. in 1962, the 12 concepts for world service provide a group of related principles to help ensure that various elements of AA service structure remain responsive and responsible to those he served. The short form of the concept, which follows, was approved by the 1971 General Service Conference. Hi, Kathleen. Good to see you in your smiling face. You're having a good week. And I love watching it. Why is my Teams popping up? There's just too many ways to contact me now, and I don't like it. I don't. All right, let's get this. So, 1, final responsibility and ultimate authority for AA World Services should always reside in the collective conscious of our whole fellowship. So, what we do is we get together every now and then. The next World Conference is coming up, I think, next year, and it's going to be in Canada somewhere. I think it's going to be in Toronto, from what I heard. Okay. That's where we make those decisions as a whole, as a fellowship. Yes, as a member of Alcoholics Anonymous, you get to say so, but you got to start by going to the group conscience. Okay. And if you want to get involved, then be a GSR or something. I'm a secretary for my group, right? There's no job beneath us. 2, the General Service Conference of AA has become, for nearly every practical purpose, the active voice of the effective conscience of our whole society in its world affairs. That is done at the GSC level, which is out of New York. Okay. Just recently, BBC is putting out a show on Alcoholics Anonymous in actual meetings, and the GSC approved it. They approved it. Okay. What are we doing? We're trusting that. We're trusting that. That's why we call them trusted servants, because everybody, millions of alcoholics got together to make these decisions. I wasn't there either, so don't worry about it. 3, to ensure effective leadership. There is leadership here. Okay. We should endow each element of AA, the conference, the General Service Board, and its service corporation, staff committees, and executive with a traditional right of decision. They have a right to decide for us, is what that says. Okay? But that person was voted in. And I can tell you right now, they're going to be an old timer. Why is that important? Because even though we don't count our time and time like all we have is today, mentally, physically, and emotionally, it takes a long time. You are not an old timer until you have 10 plus years. That's, So when people say things like, hi, I'm Dion and I'm a person in long term recovery, you best have more than 10 years because you are actually staking a claim with that by saying that. You're saying, I am terminally unique and I am different. That's what you're saying. 4, At all responsible levels, we ought maintain a tradition of right of participation. Allowing a voting representation is reasonable proportion to the responsibility that each must discharge. So each one of us has a right to participate, a right. And that starts at the group conscious level. Okay. There again, my business is run off of this. That means whenever I make a decision about trudging together, everybody in the group has a right to participate. I make these announcements. Most of the times, people say nothing, which is fine. Okay. They're watching. I can see how many people read the post and things like that. What they're saying is, Dion, that's a go. Go for it. Okay. Then there's sometimes when I'll put it out, I might get a message from somebody that says, hey, if you did this, it probably work better. Or if you make that move, you might be breaking a tradition, my brother. And I have to listen to that. That otherwise, I'm not doing the right to participate. Okay. Now, what I do is I work for what's called recovery equity. And when I have recovery imposters out there and mutual admiration societies, it is part of my job to protect the people in AA. That may not be yours, but God has asked me to do that. And I'm very protective of AA. I take it very seriously. I, however, do not take myself seriously. That's why the concepts are here. It is a guide, another guide. All right. 5. Throughout our structure, a traditional right of appeal ought to prevail so that the minority opinion will be heard and personal grievances receive careful consideration. Yes, you can file a complaint. You can. But let's be ready for some thoughtful discussion. Be ready for it. And you better be ready to have those hard conversations. We need to have hard conversations or we won't grow, my friends. Okay? Hard conversations are only as hard as you decide to make them. 6, the conference recognizes that the chief initiative and active responsibility in most World Service matters should be exercised by the trustee members of the conference acting as the General Service Board. They're just telling you who makes the decisions here. Okay. So what they're saying is we go to the conference so we can be recognized. And what those people doing that are going to be sitting behind the board over there, they're going to make sure that you get a right of participation. That is their job. Okay. And what they're going to tell you is there are no stupid questions, only silly answers. Okay. I'm telling you, in AA, there are no stupid questions. None. If you feel uncomfortable asking it in a meeting, ask your sponsor, maybe, ask a closed mouth friend. You can ask me. I don't mind. Okay. I have no stake in your recovery. Okay. I had a friend call me yesterday. They've been in the program for a little while. They're like, Dion, what is up with this amends I'm trying to make? They weren't ready for it. Okay. When they think of this, trauma, 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 trauma. Got to get past that trauma first. And then that ninth step will take effect. Okay. 7, the charter and bylaws. Now we're starting to talk about shit I know nothing about. Okay. The charter and bylaws of the General Service Board are legal instruments. Okay. So in other words, when we say that in us, it is in a form legal. In other words, we do have lawyers on retainer. The conference charter is not a legal document. It relies upon the tradition and the AA purse for final effectiveness. Effectiveness. How effective is this move going to be? Are we going to reach more alcoholics in the way that we like to reach them, which is through a kind of a non-passive way? You know what I mean? Because everybody knows this. We can help another alcoholic before any kind of professional can. Talked about that earlier. Why? Because they come across with frothy emotional appeal. I do it all the time. I try for the sure. It says frothy emotional pill seldom suffices. But when I have a young man in detox who's there because he crashed his car into somebody else while driving, and thank God nobody died all the time. If somebody did die, they're not going to be at detox. They're going to be in jail. Okay. So that's why it's effectiveness. It's why we have to think. That's why we need the right of participation. It's why we need these things. Not only that, but we alcoholics are undisciplined. We are. We're undisciplined. And these principles, I'm sorry, these concepts help us stay in that lane. Okay. Remember, this is all muscle memory. So, what we're doing, you're using all the same ideas and everything that you had before, but now you're using them differently. Okay? And that's what change is. So, 8, the trustees are principal planners and administrations of overall policies and finance. They have the custodial oversight of the separately incorporated and constant active services, exercising this through their ability to elect all directors of these entities. Okay. I also want you to understand that a lot of these people are non alcoholic. Okay. They are non alcoholic for a reason. That comes down to the responsibility statement. The responsibility statement was formed for the professionals. That's what it was formed for. But take it as you see it. Help anyone any chance you get. 9, good service leadership at all levels is indispensable. Good leadership. You can only lead by example. It's what we got. It's all we got, but it's fucking gold. We are walking, talking miracles, my friends. So be one. Be a miracle. I posted something earlier and Kathy here said, shout it out. I'm going to shout it then. I'm a miracle. I'm working magic, man, with the help of God and AA. How wonderful. I love it. Um, every service responsibility should be matched by an equal service of authority with the scope of such authority well defined. Okay. I'm a secretary for my group. I I have to listen to the GSR. That's who our GSR is, the general service representative. So essentially they're the president of that, okay? But you should only hold um these uh these things for a year. You shouldn't. So I'm going to be a secretary for my group for a year. And I'm going to step down. Right? 10. We just did that. 11. The trustees should always have the best possible committees, corporate service directors, executives, staff, and consultants. That's what I'm getting into with trudging together right now. Okay. I need a board of directors, and I'm being extremely selective on it. I'm not allowed to be on the board of directors. I'm the owner. So I'm not allowed to be on it. So I'm actually going through this process right now with trudging together. I'm turning it into a 501c3. Why am I doing that? Because I want it to be a foundation now. Took me took me almost 4 years to construct that. Okay. That's why it scares me when I see new people pop on the scene going, "Oh," and they get really big really fast. No. Some I know something's wrong when that happens. Okay. I don't use any of the rules and stuff. I just come on and everything's natural. Fuck, I haven't even worried about my green screen. Fuck it. We're here talking about recovery. Okay. I would much rather do this than worry about my green screen. All right, 12. And of course, it's the longest one because it's 12. The conference shall observe the spirit of AA tradition. So, the conference. This whole thing is about the World Conference, I'm understanding. Okay. That's my understanding so far. Conference shall observe the spirit of the AA tradition, taking care that it never becomes the seat of perilous wealth or power. And there it is again. No one person runs it. No, in fact, no one runs it. And that's why Trudging Together has been successful. Okay. Trudging Together doesn't need a lot of money or power to help. It doesn't need any of it. I took down all my donation stuff. I got tired of asking people for donations. If you want to donate, I still take donations on my page. But I don't put it out there. For like this, I had it and it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel right asking for donations for this. Podcast, that's a little different. Does take a little bit more money to do that. We got a bunch coming up. Let's see. We're doing at least 4 podcasts in the next week. So, Gary runs the OA one, or he's the host for the OA, and he did 3 out of the 4 of them. So we're gonna have Dr. Jenkins back. I love her. She's gonna come back, talk about food and emotional binging during the holidays. All right, let's get back to this. The sufficient operating funds in the reserve be its prudent financial principle. So every group has a prudent reserve, and it's very small. All AA groups are broke. We're broke, and we want it that way. Okay. Let's say you have passed away and you have decided that you are going to give your insurance death money. Yeah, I know those are all the wrong words. To AA. They will decline it because you're dead. You're no longer a member. You're still a member of AA, okay? But we cannot take that endowment, and we won't. So don't bother doing it. That has placed none of its members in a position of unqualified authority over others. That it reach all important decisions by discussion, vote, and whenever possible, by substantial unanimity. So, not anonymously. That is, and please correct me if I'm wrong on that. That is the action never be personally punitive nor enticement to public controversy, that it never performs active government, and that, like the society it serves, it will always remain democratic in thought and action. Whew! That's a lot of information, right? But it makes sense. It goes right along with the 12 traditions. It goes, and you can start to match. What you can do is you can match things. I'm not done yet. You have a great day too. You thought I was ending. You do the same if you're taking off. So I just like to give people a hard time. And I am almost done. So but you can match them. Step one, tradition one, they go together. It's about it goes together if you can mash it together. Just push it. And I haven't done this description in a while, but recovery is like a giant puzzle where every single piece fits exact. So that means that your recovery is going to look exactly like how you want it. Isn't that weird? Even better, if you don't have expectations when you do this, your life is going to be one blessing after another. You will see. Yeah, you are trigger happy. You crack me up. I love you, Ingrid. Um, and Ingrid, we're going to be doing some stuff here in Colorado next year, and I will raise enough money to fly you out if you want to be a part of it. I will do that stuff. All of you. I'm not kidding. If I could raise the money, I will fly every single one of you out to Colorado and you can come join us. I don't care about money. I sincerely don't. This is about doing the right thing for the right people in the right place. And God leads the way. God. I I guess I should go finish up my day. And I'm excited because I have enough money to go wash my new Mercedes. I still don't. I got to drive it yesterday. It's fucking badass. My God. I stepped on the pedal a little too hard. I was all, phew. I'm not used to, I'm used to, that reminds me, somebody stole my 97 Toyota. This thing like did 0 to 60 in like 20 minutes. It was not a getaway car. I laugh at it now, but God, I was pissed. I was so pissed. Yeah, my uncle, my uncle-in-law knew that I needed a car. He knew I needed a vehicle and said, "Hey, I've got this Mercedes if you would like it." Um, $4,000. I'm buying it from him. I got to do it the right way. But see, I can pay him as I go. So those are the things that God does for me. It doesn't surprise me. Well, I, I was driving to work a couple weeks ago, and I was like, "Gosh, this sounds." Um, I caught it. I I know I know Sesame Street Spanish, so I caught it. But anyway, I was driving to work, and then I'll wrap this up, guys. And I was thinking, I know that God, this is kind of selfish, but I really wouldn't mind having a car that isn't ready to fall apart. Because I was using my father-in-law's car, and he wanted me to buy it, and I was just making funny noises, check engine lights on, the windshield wiper sprayer doesn't work, and I'm like, God, I appreciate having a car, but I kind of feel like I deserve a little bit better than this. I wasn't asking for a Mercedes, though. See, that's what happens when we remove expectations. I was not expecting it. I felt like it was a selfish request. I guess God saw otherwise. So, all right. And I'll tell you now, I would sell it if it meant I had to do something for how I am. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it. It's mine. I'm actually gonna be a little selfish about it. All right. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me go through the concepts without even really realizing it, not beating up on me too much. So I love you guys. Peace out.